Imagine water sloshing side to side in a swimming pool, a bathtub, or a cup of tea, the water level rising on one side and falling on the opposite side. This same phenomenon can occur in nature in any enclosed body of water, such as a lake or a bay. There it's called a seiche, spelled S-E-I-C-H-E, and last week a notable one occurred on Lake Erie. Now the mechanism behind a seiche is straightforward. Strong and persistent winds push the surface water from one end of a body of water to the other, piling up water on the downwind side where water levels rise, while water levels on the upwind side fall. When this happens on Lake Erie, it's nearly always because of southwesterly winds behind a storm. Of all the Great Lakes, seiches most commonly occur on Erie because it's long but relatively narrow and also the shallowest of the 5 lakes. Here's an animation of winds in the vicinity of Lake Erie the morning of December 29th. The lake is right in the middle of the flurry of greens and yellows, representing sustained winds of 35 to 45 miles per hour from the west-southwest, blowing the length of the lake. Now let me show you the resulting changes in the water levels at Toledo in blue on the southwest end of the lake and at Buffalo in red at the northeast end. And we'll start the evening of December 28th. At that time, the water level at both places was essentially the same, and we'll use 0 to represent this reference level of the lake before the Seiche. And just after midnight on the 29th, the water level at Toledo began to drop as strong west-southwest winds started moving water away from the shore there. But the level at Buffalo didn't start to rise until a few hours later when that push of water reached the other end of the lake. At the peak of the event early that afternoon, the water level at Buffalo was more than 6 feet higher than where it started, while the water level at Toledo was more than 7 feet lower. As the wind eased up a bit, the water started sloshing back to its original level, falling in Buffalo and then rising in Toledo. That rebalancing took about 8 hours. But then look what happened. Much like a wave sloshing in a bathtub, the water in the lake sort of sloshed back the other way, creating a second rise of more than 2 feet in Buffalo and a second fall of almost 3 feet in Toledo about 6 hours later. The Seiche caused serious flooding at the northeast end of the lake as winds gusted above 70 miles per hour, pushing water inland in the Buffalo area. But at the extreme southwest end of the lake, the low water levels exposed the lake bed. In places such as Luna Pier, Michigan, people could walk a quarter mile out from the usual shoreline. Among other items, residents found remnants of a car lost in the lake in 1969, as well as a snowmobile that fell through the ice just a few years ago. On average, Lake Erie experiences a seiche of this magnitude every few years. The most recent one I can remember was in December 2022, when the water level at Toledo dropped about 10 feet below the typical water line. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment with more.